In from the gym, good to get this conversation in before I got moving around. So, welcome to the live and hit that like button when you come in. If you're catching this on replay, I really wanted to get this message out because it had been it's been on my mind for a few days now. Um, Today's topic is commitment versus duty, or duty versus commitment. And I got in the caption scandal, love, and some more stuff. The things we do, the things that humans do on this planet, y'all. Let me get comfortable. Okay. Let me get comfortable. So hopefully, I'm gonna plan on y'all catching this on playback because I'm not really gonna sit too long to wait on anybody to come to live. Your girl be busy now. I have a lot going on, a lot to do, a lot to create, a lot to learn, and fine tune and get out, and a lot of people to work with. So things are great. Life is good. But let's talk about duty versus commitment. So, a duty is an obligation either forced by law or obligation, right? And so, kings and queens have duty. Like, if this is your job, this is you're obligated to do. It's your duty. You don't have a choice. It's given you don't have a choice, right? It's like you're expected to do that thing. When it's a commitment, it's something that you will yourself into, that you have willfully come into agreement with, and now you are dedicated to seeing it through. So in a committed situation, you didn't give yourself, you said I want this and I'm locking myself in. In a duty type of situation, it's like maybe a power above you locked you into something and says you're doing this. And so a commitment is the duty you choose, and the duty is what somebody else chose for you. So let's talk about that, how that looks when it comes to love and divine purpose, divine counterparts. You guys know I'm a relationship coach as well as a spiritual consultant. So we talk about the spirituality of relationships and primarily divine counterparts and soul tribe and soulmates. And because you know that you can be around people who are your soulmates, they are not necessarily your romantic soulmate for this lifetime, but they are people who are part of a tribe of souls that always reincarnate together, and they follow the same star system together, and they go through life and adventures together, right? And so, hi, welcome to live petition and Akira. So we're talking about duty versus commitment today. And so just understand that there are souls that you are destined to be around no matter what. There's some karmic situations in a lifetime where you might say, hey, you're the bad guy, I'm the good guy. You're going to wake me up to my soul's purpose. And then there are situations where, the best friends in the world that you will ever have or your soul tribe and the people that that you want to be around. So there's a mix. There's people, karmic people that have been around you forever. And so duty versus commitment looks like this. Let's say you're in an arranged marriage. It's your duty to your country, to your people, to the throne to marry this person and bring your two kingdoms together or bring the land together or get a treaty together, right? Thank you so much. And so that's a duty. I have to do this. I have to do something that's above me and what my desires. I have to think about more than just myself. I have a duty to make sure I do what's right for everybody around me. It is my duty as this person in this position, right? And so a lot of times people who do things out of duty or obligation don't do it in a heartfelt way. They might find a way to be marriage, yeah. So we're gonna get into soul contracts in a moment. And so they might find themselves like, I got to do this to unite the tribes, unite the land. It's happened throughout history, right? It's common, right? And so yeah. And there's a duty to carry on a bloodline, or a duty to carry on a royal bloodline, a duty to do this, a duty to do this. There's always a duty to somebody, right? In very few circumstances do people in positions of power have the luxury of choosing what they commit to, right? Yeah, very few opportunities throughout history where they got to have a choice. Where they did abandon their duties and run off and elope with somebody far, far away, like Romeo and Juliet was forbidden. And, they were committed to it. They was like, forget duty. I want to be with who I want to be with. And so there are very few stories that talked about, oh, I chose you. If they did, it was wrong. It's like everybody's supposed to follow their duties. Now, this day and age, everybody has a choice as to who they get to commit to, for the most part. For the most part. I could say if you're an American citizen, that you typically get to choose who you marry. So we'll look at it from that perspective. You get to choose who you marry. I know there are some cultures around the world to this day that you have to marry within your religion, within your ethnic group, or you will be cast out of the family. And so in America, you can marry outside of your ethnicity, and you can marry somebody in a different religion. There's no obligation here unless it is a house rule from your parents, right? But for the most part, most people are accepted to do whatever they want to do. Hi, guys. Come on in and hit that like button on the live. And so let's talk about how that plays out with soul contracts. So let's get into the spiritual relationship side of things. If you guys are rocking with me, hit the like button. For the people who are watching, I would appreciate it. And so what it looks like is this. There's a group of you, like I said, your soul tribe. You have been together probably since the beginning of time. And now you go through having human experiences on earth. Thank you for the light. You go through having your experiences and you map it all out and you play out scenarios, things to help humanity, things to help your soul evolve, things to help you each lifetime, right? It's already been mapped out. It's written in the stars, so to speak. It's like, imagine a contract just laid out in the stars, and this is how you're going to go through life. And that's why people are able to look at astrology and map out your entire life. They know what you're going to do. They know when you're going to do it. They know how you're going to how long you're going to live. All these things are pretty much mapped out like it's written in a contract. And so you got to think there are some soul contracts that you have to fulfill this lifetime. It could have been a toxic relationship. It could have been being born into a certain family and have certain parents. And it's also giving birth to certain children. Those are soul contracts. So people sometimes have to fulfill those, no, all the time. There are contracts that have to be fulfilled that you agreed to before you got here. And you wonder why somebody stays stuck in a toxic relationship for a long time, or they do this and then all of a sudden it's over. That's because the contract's up. Those are seasonal contracts. There are lifetime contracts, and then there are reasonal, transaction-based contracts. Like, you got to do this one thing for me. Some people, that could be a baby, and that baby could be a divine being that's a part of the soul tribe that's supposed to be here, and you two agreed to get them here, give them a body, so to speak, be their parents. Now, as to whether or not the other parent sticks around, it's totally up to you guys in your contract. And so when people watch things play out in a very human way, they get in their feelings. And you have to remember that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So we got to orchestrate what happens before we got here. So there are certain things that you got to do out of duty. So I do. There are certain things you got to do out of duty. Based on soul contracts and agreements that you came into before you got here. So the love of your life might not be the person that you're contracted to marry the first go round. And that's why we're in a day and age where divorce is so popular, because you don't have to stay married to somebody once you feel that time is up. And then you sometimes get with the second person and stay with them forever, because you fulfill your obligation to have children with this person, to continue that bloodline, so to speak. And then you move into the part of your life where you get to choose who you commit to. You fulfill your duties, and then you can move on to the nicer part of things. I get to honor my commitment to myself and love who I want to love and be in the relationship I want to be in. So you'll see a lot of people have that first marriage, have all those kids, and do all those things. And then after that, after they feel their time is up on that, they'll move into another relationship. You two look like you've just belonged together forever, but that wasn't the person they were supposed to have children with. That's not who they had the contracts with. So a lot of times you got to look at things spiritually. Hi, Zoe. So sometimes you got to look at things all the time. I'm going to ask you to always consider how it looks spiritually, right? Y'all come in and hit that like button. So all the times consider what it looks like spiritually. Spiritually, we have duties, we have obligations, we have expectations that are on us. If we're going to be here, there's a certain way we agree to show up. And so some people just don't accept that. They just can't accept the idea that we are truly spirits playing games with little bodies. We're like the Sims down here on Earth. There are some very powerful beings attached to these bodies. If you knew who was operating the avatar, you've read about them in history books, right? Right? Scorpio, Taurus moon. So you've read about them in history books. Some people still worship these beings, these deities. And you got to think, our consciousness is coming from somewhere else. The body wasn't born with consciousness. It came from somewhere else. It came from somewhere else. So you got to think, we are also somewhere else. If my consciousness is there, my body is here, then I definitely am a spiritual being having a human experience. And as we get into our groups, our silos, our soul tribes, we have duty to fulfill in those soul contracts. So I'm going to keep it nice and light on that subject today, but I want you to know it plays out in the form of people sometimes just having a kid together. That was the agreement. That was in the soul contract. Sometimes it plays out in the form of just, it could be anything. Anything that two people got to do together or for each other, or somebody just randomly leaving a stranger a house or leaving them all the money in their will, that was a soul contract. You got to leave me all your stuff. You know, you got to make sure I'm set up nice on earth. And so we do these things before we get here. So don't beat yourself up about situations where you feel like, I should have got out of that a long time ago. I should have never made that decision. Some things were predestined to happen the way they happen. And they're not always warm and fuzzy things. And I think that if we can start to appreciate the dark side of things and how they really look in the spirit, we get out of our feelings and we move on with life faster. And we stop with the victim mentality and realize nothing happened to us. It happened for us. It happened for us to fulfill this, to have this experience, and to go through life having that one more notch on our belt. It's like earning Girl Scout badges, okay? From another planet and control them from applied. So yeah. So basically, you're gonna watch people go through stuff. And it's not always because they're enjoying it. It was scripted. It was an experience they chose to have when they got here. It was an experience they chose to have when they got here. Maybe they wanted to experience a broken heart. Maybe they had karmic debt from a past life and they were due to experience a broken heart. So a lot of times you're going to try and rescue people from things and they were meant to go through it. So think about that and pray about it and always search your heart. What is the real reason I'm going to help them? Is it to make myself feel better because I didn't do something for somebody else? Or is it because I really see a need and I want to fulfill it? Right? There are lots of things that are scripted out, written out in soul contracts. So a lot of things are going to happen no matter what. A person's lifespan could be as short as it is because part of the plan was for them to come back, have that experience, and then come back and have another experience right away. Okay? Also, when we get into commitment on the lighter side of things, the things you want to do, the things that you've committed yourself to, you chose. Duty was chosen for you, and a commitment is what you chose to make, right? Hi, Fire Bacon. Y'all go ahead and hit the like button on the live. So, I'm going to say this. Once you fulfill your soul contracts, you will feel, if it's a marriage and it's time to get out of it, you will hear you're released in some kind of form, some kind of way. You're going to hear that inner voice saying you're released from this. If you know you've been a bad person and you've been going through a rough patch and you feel that's your karma, or you've been, like toxic. And when I was younger, I was very toxic when it came to dating. I did not think men had feelings, and I treated them like they did not have feelings. Just give me what I want. Period. And so I had 2 sons. That was my core. Now it was a soul contract. But I had 2 sons, and I got to see very clearly that men do have feelings. I treated men like they did not have feelings. I had a very karmic and toxic marriage. I got to see what it feels like when you mistreat people. So it's all real. It's all real. And you think that sometimes you got to die and go to hell to experience, punishment. You'll get it right here on earth. You do somebody bad in one relationship, get out of it, and the next one will do you bad. Boom. Karma slapped you right in the face real quick. Okay? So, thank you so much, Linda. And so, you have 1 son. But for a woman, you have sons so that you'll know what love is like. So you get to experience love. If a woman has a daughter first, then she has some lessons to learn. Because that young lady is going to hold a mirror to her face and remind her who she is. The good side and the bad side. And a lot of times we have little sassy daughters. We're going to remind you, you need to take it up a notch, ma'am. I don't have a daughter. But I see my family members that have daughters. They are something else. And they really will let you know what you're doing wrong in life. I don't know if I was ready for that. Yeah. No, life is not unfair. Life is what you make it. It's what you make it. So even in a crappy situation, you can decide how you're going to get through it. You can decide your mood, your temperament, your attitude. Even in the worst of situations, you decide how you're going to get through it, in a good mood or a bad mood. Am I going to attract some positivity into an unfavorable situation, or am I going to make it worse than what it is? It's already low. Let's drive it into the ground. Or it's low. Let's pick this up. Where you are, the hand you're dealt, is not where you have to stay. You choose in everything that comes at you how you respond to it. You don't always choose what comes at you, but you do choose how you respond to it. Life is going to be full of surprises. You're going to have time and time again to pick yourself up. Learn this, do that, start over here, go back and redo this. Now I got a lesson. Now I'm going to move forward and apply it here. You get all these experiences and opportunities, and they make up who you are. Every time you have an experience, your response is etching it into your soul, into your record. Right? But you get many chances to have many experiences that you're going to need to move forward. You're going to need to move forward. Artist. Sidra. I have a boy's name. I can't help it when you good people take granted. That's true. People will take advantage of you. And that's when we have to realize, do I love myself enough to put up boundaries and protect myself from people who like to take advantage or come at me in an unhealthy way? Do I protect myself from people? Or, you know, do I love myself? So, but when you're committed to something, you need to think about what you're committed to and why. Does it align with your values? If you chose to take it on, nobody forced you into it. Why are you committed to this thing? Why? How does this align with your soul's purpose? Do I know my soul's purpose? So am I doing things that are really not for me, out of order, out of natural order, and not necessarily conducive to my growth, my future, or anything that I really said I wanted out of life? Thank you so much for the hearts. Oh, you're going through a rough patch. That's probably why you're drawn. Probably that's why you're drawn to me right now. I'm a healer, so when you're going through something emotionally, people are drawn to me. Um, the best thing you could do right now is focus on going inward and loving on yourself. And the answers will come to you when you get quiet and love yourself. You'll start to figure out things. You'll figure out why this happened. You weren't in this energy when it happened, were you? And so when you're in a different type of energy of not paying attention, not putting yourself first, not having those boundaries, it's easy for somebody to just come in and attack. They caught you off guard with your guards down. And consider it an opportunity for you to realize that I need to make an assessment. Something's happening that I don't like. Let me assess the entire situation, pick it apart, and learn from it and develop better habits to not be in this situation again. Whether it's a defense mechanism that you have to put in place to protect yourself from certain personality types, certain type of people. It will happen again and again until you learn from it. I realized I stopped in an adult conversation. Fire bacon. You gonna learn. Wisdom is good for you. You one day you'll remember this conversation. You like, well, I was young then, but I think I'm going through that right now. So it's good to know and just store it somewhere in the back of your mind. And one day you're going to be like, wow, did I commit myself to this? Did I obligate myself to something that was not my responsibility? That's not in alignment with the life I want to live? You can walk away from it at any time. Just as sure as you put yourself in it, you can take yourself out of it. But understand when it's something you committed to, and it's for you or it's not for you, or it's for you and it just doesn't feel good at some points, or it's something that you have to do out of obligation or duty to others. You don't just get to get up and walk away from that as easily, right? Hey, Red Breeze. So I like that y'all talking to each other in the comments. That warms my heart. Y'all come in and like the live. So just really, really think about this. Am I obligated to this out of duty, out of law? Or is this something I chose to commit to? And does this align with my values? That's where you finally get a choice. So in love and life and relationships, don't beat yourself up if you've been like me, divorced. Your second round, you've learned who you are in that first marriage. You learned who you are with that first bad relationship, that first bad job, or when you got fired from a job, or when you've had toxic friends at school. You know, for a lot of you young folks, you have these certain types of friends at school. Every time you have a situation happen in your life, think about learning more about who you are through every situation. This happened so I can learn something about myself, not so I can learn something about them. Yeah, I see who they are. I need to cut them off, period. But what does it tell me about me, and what is my process for allowing new people into my life? Do I have a filter? Do I use discernment? Am I allowing anybody to come through? There's no healthy boundaries. There's no healthy selection process. There's nothing healthy about the way I engage in relationships. So we're going to get into that too, y'all. As we go along, I'm going to be posting, an extended video, 10 minutes or more, at least 3 times a week. That's the goal. I have these planned live so we can talk about different topics. Y'all can let me know how this resonated for you. Just take a note and be like, I can use this for later. And if there's a topic I haven't discussed on my channel yet, let me know in the comments and I'll talk about it, okay? Because if y'all hear, then I need to say things that y'all need to hear. So I appreciate y'all for joining. I'm going to wrap this one up. And just remember, so what's your name? What can we call you on here? Coach Shoni. We're Shoni, Some people just call me Coach. Either way. And so I'm here. I'm primarily focusing on growing my YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Fire Bacon. I appreciate you coming on here. Shani is nice. Thank you, artist. Think about your name backwards, artist. I had to do my name backwards too to find its true meaning. To find my true meaning and identity, I had to spell my name backwards, my full first name. Because Shani's just my first name shortened. Thank you so much, Jackalope. Thank you, artists. I hope y'all all subscribe. Subscribe and hit the like button. We growing this channel. And y'all gonna see me outside on the go. I really want y'all to see me living. I want y'all to see me living. So when I tell you these things, you saw it in action. I want y'all to see my life. Because you need to know more than just me giving you a talk. You need to see what it looks like in real life. People need examples. People need to borrow your faith sometimes until they get their own, and I get that. So I'm here for it. We just getting started on this channel, but thank you so much, Glove. So Artist Mac. Okay, look at Sidra. Look at the meaning of Sidra. A lot of times things are hidden in the name, hidden in plain sight. Sometimes you got to go backwards in reverse order and decode your own name. I had to do that. The goddess Artemis is my name backwards. Artemis. So, the moon goddess. And so, I give a lot of that deep, mysterious energy too. That'll give you some more clues, okay? So, yeah. I know you guys probably look for tarot. I have highpriestess.1111. That's my other YouTube channel. I've posted some tarot on there. I don't do it often. Every blue moon. It's faceless. I don't know what the direction of that channel is going to be right now. So it's kind of on hiatus. I don't know if I'm going to continue that channel or what I'm going to do with it. But we'll see. So stay tuned. I appreciate you guys. Drop a comment letting me know a topic y'all want me to talk about or what you got going on in your life and what you could use more wisdom on, need me to elaborate on when it comes to spirituality and relationships, okay? And walking in your purpose. Because I'm here for all of it. All of it. And I'm a mom. My kids are grown, partially. I have a 22-year-old son and a soon to be 15-year-old son. So, hi, Ace of Spades. Thank you, artists. Yep, hit that subscribe button, y'all. We growing this channel. Baby, when this channel get monetized, we gonna be somewhere. Y'all gonna be watching me in Paris, okay? When we monetize and I go to Paris, I probably take somebody with me. Somebody who been here since the beginning. Because that's coming up, right? And so, I'm definitely a giver. So, when people around me and support me, they get a lot. They get a lot. I'm a giver. So whatever y'all need, just hit me up in the comments and let me know what topics y'all want to hear from me on. Stuff you going through. Stuff I can actually help you with. Okay? I'd rather talk about things that people I'm tied to can relate to. Because I can talk about anything. But if y'all gonna be here on this channel supporting me, it needs to be things you need to hear, right? Yes, manifested. We going to Paris. We going to Paris, and people be surprised when I remember them. Like I go back and bless somebody with something. They be like, "How did you remember that? How did you?" I don't forget when people are good to me. I do not forget. I cannot forget because it doesn't happen as often as you think. One person's act of kindness can go a long way from somebody who does not get that often, y'all. So you could be that one nice person. It should just be a compliment and a quick conversation. They will remember that, okay? I don't forget. Unfortunately, I don't forget a lot of stuff, but you get the point. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I gotta get ready for a call at 6 o'clock my time to help me grow and develop in my business because I'm working on a lot of stuff right now. And I'll be putting out flyers on this page to let you guys know what I got coming up. So always check my posts. So come to my channel and check my posts and see what I got going on. And you can probably take advantage of it depending on what city you in, okay? And y'all drop y'all city in the comments. Drop your city in the comments. I got some travel coming up. I'm excited about that. So drop your city in the comments. And if I'm ever in your area, I might take you to lunch. Okay? All right. Love you guys. Y'all be great on purpose.